We are going to talk about, we're doing a Foodie Fun at Home series. So short insights to some healthy eats that you could do for game day. So if you guys are excited about the Super Bowl or just like watching games, then hopefully this will give you some ideas for some fun snacks. And yeah, so we'll get started. So my name is Andrea Nicolai, and I work with the University of Florida Extension in Polk County. And I'm the Family and Consumer Sciences agent and a registered dietitian. I'm really glad to be here today. So I'm going to send a short survey, a short evaluation following this webinar. I really appreciate your feedback on that. It can help me see how I can make mine, how I can make this better. So game day meals at home. So what we're going to talk about is some fun meals to try before the kickoff. And so we're going with crowd-pleasing grilling, sensational sides, and fun finger foods, and then we'll get to the desserts. So we're just talking about some different fun options that you can have during the game then. And Sandra, I'm sorry you're having problems. I wonder if maybe if you sign out and restart or check your speaker settings, that could help too. So sorry you're having problems. I need like a tech person here with me. So crowd-pleasing grilling is what we're going to talk about first. So we got just some ideas for grilling: steaks, poultry, fish, kebabs, vegetables, lots of ideas. So these would just be kind of the better choices. And then when you do steaks, poultry, and fish, they're just a great addition to your game day party, packed with protein, so you can power through the game. And some great sources of lean beef are the top sirloin fillets and top round steaks. So we got some good ideas for that. Then for grilled fish, grilling fish, if you're doing the thinner fillets, it'd be a great idea to put them in foil. It keeps the fish intact and it locks moisture in, and it helps the heat distribute evenly. So you can also add like herbs and aromatics in that, like lemon juice or just oregano or something like that, and then you'll have that wrapped in the foil, and it really seasons the fish fillets as they are on the grill. And if you don't want to do that, if you have thicker fish, some of the better fish for just straight up grilling would be the salmon, the sea bass, red snapper, grouper, and halibut. Those are all great lean sources of protein, so you'd have a win there. Then we have some lean green grilled meats. So just remember when you're doing that, just to get creative by adding some colorful veggies to spark up the game day. So, you might, you think about the protein, but then since you already have the grill on, or if you're doing it on the stovetop, add some grilled vegetables in there too. Roasting vegetables, if you do them in the oven, it brings out their sweetness, and people tend to really enjoy those. So it'd be like colorful veggies, such as I'm thinking like carrots and peppers and sliced sweet potatoes. You could have like sweet potato fries, eggplant, it's a really good one, corn on the cob or asparagus. And then just if you're doing the steak, like the grilled top round steak or sirloin would be good choices, better for your heart. All right, so then thinking about sliders, that's another great way that you can add some bite-sized punch to your game day. You could try using some lean ground beef. You could use ground turkey, and just watch when you get the turkey. Sometimes it's if it's ground turkey and not ground turkey breast, it can actually have more fat than the beef. So kind of look at the label and see what you're getting, because sometimes you might just get ground turkey and then they're grinding up the skin and everything with it too. So it could actually be the higher in fat. So just something to look at. Chicken, or you can mix it up with some flavorful veggies. So like a veggie burger, you could do a bean burger, such as a black bean burger or pinto bean burger. You could do something like chicken avocado sliders, and then using the whole grain buns. Just some ideas. And so basically sliders are like mini hamburgers, so that people can, have a bite on it with just, like a small taste versus having like a whole burger. And it's also, just better, like the portion size, right? So then you have a little room to snack on something else. So what's some fun veggie recipes for grilling? So try something out of the ordinary. Like if you haven't tried cauliflower steaks, they would be a great one. You can make cauliflower wings. There's some fun recipes online with those. You could even do carrot hot dogs. I mean, you would definitely have a conversation piece if you did some of those. So, and you can't go wrong with stuffed bell peppers either. You could stuff bell peppers with lean ground beef, quinoa, or chicken, and you just basically you would make that stuff ahead and then stuff it in the pepper and then you would bake it. I've even heard people microwaving it just for simpleness, but that is a good option. And then if you're having like cauliflower steaks, what you would do is you get that head of cauliflower and then you slice it like the long ways down, I guess, and then you end up with kind of the steaks like you can see on that picture there. And so you kind of coat that with a little bit of, brush that with olive oil. You could do a little lemon juice, garlic, salt, smoked paprika would be really good on there, a little bit of chili powder, and then you just roast it. So there's some recipes like that. I've also seen ones where you cover the whole head with hummus, just whatever your favorite kind is, and then you bake it that way, and it kind of like the hummus like bakes into the cauliflower. So it's some fun ways, to get some vegetables. So here's just we got to talk about the wings, right? So if you're thinking about having these, I was looking at the supermarket flyers yesterday, and the wings are, they're all on sale. It's kind of like we know what people are tending to go towards. So if you can, wings are white meat, so that's a better choice. And then try to go with the skinless for your heart, and grilling and baking those wings. So here's some other ideas for grilling. So trying grilled avocados, pineapple, peaches. You could serve those peaches, like grill them, like cut them in half, and then you grill them face down, and they're served with like vanilla yogurt would be really good, and good kind of sweeter option. And if you don't like avocado, you might have to try grilling the avocado and then making guacamole or trying like the avocado toast. But all you would do for that, I have a coworker, she and her husband do this all the time, is the grilled avocado. But you just kind of brush them with olive oil. Then you can put like a little chipotle pepper or whatever your favorite seasonings are, and then you put that face down on the grill, and you get those grill marks, and it just it has that kind of smokier flavor then. So it's a fun idea. And then just thinking about just making food fun and making life a little fun. If you have a veggie tray or something like that, thinking about how you can maybe just put something like this picture on the right in the middle. It's amazing what, if you just have a couple googly eyes, if you just put it on stuff, it it can make people smile, and it's also just lightening up things, especially veggie trays. So we're good to go. So here's some grilled kebab ideas. I have a couple of pictures there. So trying like things like shrimp kebabs work pretty well. Chicken kebabs using top round cubes, so that's that leaner source of red meat with some veggies would be great. Tofu skewers, you could do that with peanut sauce. They go really well together. Kind of gives it, tofu is a very neutral protein source. So then kind of the sauce makes it. So something like a peanut sauce would be good. Then you could try like Asian style, maybe chicken skewers. And those things have a little bit of like a marinade, like soy sauce or oyster sauce. And then it has like ketchup, honey, Dijon mustard, garlic. So just thinking about different ways that you could make those, it's a pretty good, healthy source of protein, and also a lot of flavor. So here's some cold kebab ideas. So caprese, that would be the one you see on the left. It's using basil leaves and then tomatoes and mozzarella. You can kind of do that however you have that at your house. You could do mozzarella cube just from the block, or you could do that fresh mozzarella like you see pictured there. You could do a bigger slice of tomato or a chunk of tomato, but just that's a very popular flavor together, and kind of really a cute idea, and you could drizzle balsamic vinaigrette over that. And then fruit ideas. So you can make a rainbow. Those look really pretty if you do like, the red, orange, yellow, something like, strawberries, cantaloupe, or like you could do cutie slices. And then you could do grapes and blueberries to make a rainbow. It looks really pretty. Or you could use fruit with team colors. So if you guys are going for the Bengals or the Rams, like the Bengals colors are the orange and white or black. So maybe you could do something like the cantaloupe, or just like orange slice with maybe a banana or blackberry, things like that. And then the Rams have the blue and yellow and white. So that could be something like blueberries and pineapple and bananas, or you could use white nectarines or white peaches. So just some ideas so that you can get that festiveness in. All right, so some salad ideas just for some sides. We have the quinoa salad on the left. Then the caprese salad, if you remember, the caprese was the tomatoes, the mozzarella, and the basil. So that's a pretty popular one. And then there's like a blueberry watermelon salad on the right, or you could try a Greek salad. So that would be having things like some olives, some pepperoncini peppers, and then tomatoes, and then kind of like an olive oil vinaigrette dressing. That would be heart healthy also. And here's a couple other ideas. There's a sweet potato salad, a cucumber salad, and then just your fruit salad, which seems to be a hit multiple places. So good to go there. So then we have some different side options like baked beans. So doing that and then mixing in a can of some plain beans. So that can really help reduce the sugar, and the plain beans just add another flavor, and there's usually enough sauce in there to cover them all. So that would be one way to just decrease the added sugar that you're having in that dish. And then thinking about things like vegetables too, just they're great side items. It's some fun things, just to munch on during the game. So sensational sides, corn, grilling corn can be really good with like a light herb butter or those sweet potato fries. And then we're going to talk about finger foods. So finger foods, they're a great way not to miss any of the action during the game, and while you can still enjoy your favorite food. So here are some options for that. Just thinking about chicken or turkey cutlets. So you could buy the already grilled ones where you just have to reheat them and put them in there with some vegetables and maybe some cheese, using whole grain bread. So that'll help your heart and keep you feeling satisfied. And then charcuterie boards are another option. So they're it's becoming a very popular thing, kind of using like a cutting board and then putting different kinds of meats and cheeses and dips and fruit and vegetables on it. And you can do that, and you could design it the rainbow thing, but the idea would just be to have a lot of different things. There's nuts on that one. So it's another good kind of option, and kind of easy because you can just take what you have out of your fridge and put a pile here, pile here, pile here, and then people can take what they like, use some toothpicks. And then here's just pizza is also very popular, but you don't have to go the typical route. You could do something like this. And then thinking about dips too. So this recipe was a 10-layer Greek dip, but I haven't tried this yet, but I just think it's so appropriate and looks really good. So what you do is you take hummus and Greek yogurt and you kind of put that on the bottom with the garlic powder and olive oil. And then you spread like the layers of different vegetables on the top then. And some other really good dip ideas would be the guacamole, salsa, and hummus. Those are definitely dietitian approved. And then thinking about what you're going to dip in that. So there's definitely chips, but you could also try, if you had some whole wheat tortillas in your house and you just need to use them, you could cut them like a pizza cutter and put them in the oven and roast them with some garlic or some onion powder. And then you'd have your own chips that, just lighter option. And then there's carrot chips too. I don't know if you guys have seen them. They're circles, small circles, and they have ridges on them, but they are great at picking up stuff. So that would be an idea. Baby carrots, of course, too, snow peas, sugar snap peas, thin sliced celery, and then bell pepper slices. Like if you take those mini bell peppers, if you get those, you can just cut them in half, and they are like they're like the Tortitos scoopers, only the natural way. So go that way. And then so we have some more finger food options. Don't forget the nuts and the seeds. They're really good for you. And thinking about that, having that as a option. So I guess a serving of nuts would be about your palm of your hand. It's also the same as like if you have one of the Post-it notes, like about this size. I don't know if you can see it, but if you cover that with nuts, that would be about a serving. About a fourth cup is a serving. Or if you have a shot glass, I know none of you have that, so then that would be also a serving, or a baby food jar might be more friendly. So those are options just to kind of keep you in mind, like keep you in check when you're eating. Okay. So finger foods. Here I got the caprese again. I'm on a theme here. Deviled eggs. I don't know if you guys have ever brought these to a potluck, but they always seem to be gone. So that could be a winner. And using things like you could try hummus or avocado or Greek yogurt, like Greek yogurt instead of some of the mayonnaise, or hummus in there mixed with the egg yolk or that avocado. And some other flavoring options would be like adobo sauce. So it's like chipotle peppers usually come in adobo sauce, and it's smoked jalapeno peppers. And so they've been dried and then they're usually canned, but it just adds a ton of flavor, like a new layer. Or smoked paprika could be a good one, just to spice up the the yolks. You could add some cucumber, parsley, chives, or dill. Those are a few options for that. And then talking about fun finger foods, the one on the left is my favorite. It looks so pretty coming out of the oven, so I have made that. So on the right, we have butternut squash pita pizza. It's a pita, just topped with tomato sauce, and then some feta and some butternut squash and a little bit of arugula then. So you just put the arugula on right when it comes out of the oven, but it's it looks really good, and kind of a healthier way to have a great pizza. And then the zucchini nachos is what you see on the left. So that's like where you put them in the oven. You placed a sliced zucchini on a large baking sheet in a single layer. And then you would like kind of drizzle them with olive oil. You put a little cumin on there, chili powder, paprika. You season it with salt and pepper, and you bake for about 5 minutes until they're slightly tender. And then you take them out. You top them with shredded chicken, some Monterey Jack cheese, some red onions, and you can add black beans or other things like that too. And then just bake it a little longer until the cheese is melted. It comes out. You can top it with pico de gallo. So that's like a cut tomato mixture, or cilantro, or pickled jalapenos, or avocado. And you can also use canned chicken in that if you don't have the fresh one ready. So, and then feeling free to like add like green peppers or things like that. And you can do with Greek yogurt for some sour cream option, but it's a really fun, and people also, just something different, just you can talk about, I guess, appreciate. And then there's a classic favorite, ants on the log, so you can't forget that. So if you've ever made that, like that would be the celery, peanut butter, and then raisins. I've seen people do it with craisins too, whatever your choice is. So that could be an option. And so now, just to finish it up, we have some fun finger desserts. We have, obviously, fruit would be a win. Cutting it into fun shapes and things like that. It's Valentine's Day is coming up, so if you get like any sort of melon or even pineapple, if you have slices, you could use little heart cookie cutters. Just make it, really fun, kind of like those bouquets you see of the flowers. This one's a really great recipe too. What you do is you take cocoa powder, just that unsweetened powdered stuff, you get in like a container, and puree bananas with that, and you can add a dash of milk just to achieve like the right consistency, and it's a great dip. So it would be like a fruit dip with cocoa powder, which has a little bit of iron and usually fiber too, so that would be a win. You could use bananas too, or sliced strawberries. And then this one's a good one too. You can enjoy they're kind of frozen pudding sandwiches. So what you do is you make a condensed version of the pudding with some peanut butter, mix it with the peanut butter, and then you freeze them between graham crackers. And then we have some fun finger food desserts. So that would be like thinking about popcorn with different spices and herbs. You could do like cayenne pepper popcorn. That would be my one. Peanut butter popcorn. So melt a little peanut butter and drizzle it on there. Lime cilantro, rosemary black pepper. You could do lemon kale. To do something like that, you would take the kale, and then you'd roast it in the oven and make kind of like those kale chips. And then you can just crumble them up and you can sprinkle them on popcorn. I've seen a few people do that. Coconut and cocoa, spices and herbs, and then nutritional yeast, if you've heard of that. It's kind of like nature's Cheeto dust. It's a yeast similar to the one used in baking, but it has been heated and dried so that it's inactive. But it has this savory, savory kind of taste, kind of like nutty, cheesy, and it's sold in like yellow flakes or granules, and it often is fortified with B12, so that's great if you don't eat a lot of meat. But it's people call it like that savory, nutty, or cheesy flavor, so you can try that. It's like a great option. Fun finger food desserts continued. Try some apple nachos by slicing the apples into really thin slices, and then you put them on a plate or like a pan, and then you could do the drizzling the peanut butter on there and just spread some peanut butter on apples and top it off with some dark chocolate chips or maybe some walnuts for extra crunch. Kind of the options are endless on that one. And then we have peanut butter chocolate quinoa cookies, and plus these things, you would take the quinoa, the peanut butter, some chocolate chips, plus some oatmeal, plus some flax and some honey. You make those into balls, so that could be an option. And then you might have heard of dessert hummus. So there are some different ideas for that. There's like carrot cake, dessert hummus, and chocolate peanut butter dessert hummus. There's a recipe actually for something like that. It's on the Splenda website, and so there's definitely options out there. And just to finishing up, then some other ideas would be to mix some of your favorite fruits and some yogurt with granola. You can do that in a big one of those big parfait dishes. And so it looks really pretty, and people seem to really enjoy that crunch with the yogurt and the fruit. And then I have my chickpea brownies here, so that's a great way to finish out the game. So that's what I have for you today. I hope you guys all have a fun game day. I'll send out the evaluation. And does anybody have any questions? I just saw Judith. That's good. She said her mouth is watering, so that's great. Recipes for cookies. I have a chickpea cookie one. Where are the recipes? So I have some of them, and I'll send the chickpea cookie one, and just I can send the link for the Mediterranean dip. And if there's other ones that you're interested in, just let me know. So I really appreciate you guys. I hope you have a great day and have a fun week. It's going to be a good weekend. So, all right, I'll talk to you later. Thank you.